If you buy a lantern kit to make one at home, you get the instruction sheet, the withies, tissue, which is what you cover your lantern with, a bit of gaffer tape, and that's to tape your candle holder onto the bottom of your lantern. The rest of the sticking you do with masking tape, and then there's some rubber-based glue and a sponge. You'll need the dish to put the glue in, and you'll need some wire cutters to cut the withies. So you cut 4 withies to roughly the same length and lay them out in a square. You get your masking tape, you do it a bit like a bandage. And then give it a bit of a squeeze, because that holds it better. When you've done all 4, you trim off the excess withies. You then take 2 more withies and place them diagonally across the bottom, because that's where your candle holder is going to sit. Connect them to the base with masking tape and put some tape across where the diagonals meet, and then squeeze it again because it holds the joints more firmly together. You then attach the candle holder using the gaffer tape. Each leg fits onto one of the cross withies with gaffer tape so it doesn't fall off. The wire in the bottle top is extended to hold the candle steady. Sometimes the withies need to be straightened. This is going to be one of the 4 uprights. Look at this one. 1 withy going up in each corner, and then they meet at the top. Sometimes it's a fiddle holding the withy upright and fixing them at the same time. You might get someone to help you if you're having trouble. You bring the upright withies together and put a bit of tape round to hold them at the apex. You then attach the other withies and tape them at the apex. So that's the basic shape. It's important to remember to leave the top section open, because that's the chimney that allows the candle to get air to burn. If you covered it right to the top, it wouldn't stay alight very long, so that's why you leave the gap. You decide where your chimney is going to be, and you use some of the shorter bits of withy and attach them. You can stretch the top of the lantern out a bit if it's become too narrow, and then you cut off the excess bits. You then repeat this at regular intervals down the lantern to make it strong and to have something to attach the tissue to. The next stage is putting the tissue on. One of the sections at the bottom needs to be left free for the door. That will allow you to light the candle, but will also stop the draft putting the candle out. Before putting the tissue on, you need to make sure you trim off any protruding bits of withy. Tear the tissue roughly rather than cutting with scissors. A fuzzy edge is much better for fixing. You just get a vague size and then tear the tissue. It's best not to stick great big pieces of tissue on, because they are far more difficult to manage. And also, by overlapping smaller bits of tissue, it makes the lantern much stronger. Once you've got your piece of tissue, you just whack the glue all over it with the sponge. Make sure you do the edges as well, otherwise it will come undone. This isn't ordinary tissue, but perming paper, so it's actually much stronger. You put it on like this. With a Copydex glue it's very good and it sticks pretty well, and you can sort of stretch it a bit. It's a lot easier not to try and do huge pieces at once. It makes it feel quicker, but it can actually slow you down in the end. Cut off any bits of withy that are sticking out and getting in the way. Stretch it and tuck it under, and that's your first piece of tissue attached. Remember again that you leave the top uncovered because that's the chimney, and it's really important to leave it uncovered because it could cause the lantern to catch fire. Whichever hole you're going to have as your door, make sure it's big enough for you to get your hand in to light the candle, and obviously don't cover that bit either. Now we're going to make the draft excluder, and I'm going to use a double piece of tissue on either side to stop the wind, and that's where I'm going to fix the door. To make the door, again you have a double piece of glued tissue paper. Just fold it in half and then attach it when you've got the right size. Not actually gluing it down, gluing it at the top so that you can still lift it up in order to light the candle, and it will kind of stick to the two bits, the two draft excluder bits at the side. I'm just doubling over the tissue now. You roll a little bit of withy over at the bottom just to weight the door down so it doesn't fly up when you're using the lantern. This just provides a bit of weight. And you attach that to the space at the top so that you can lift up the door bit to light the candle. I'm just resting on this box just while it's drying so it doesn't stick. Obviously you're also going to cover the bottom of the lantern or the flame will blow out. And that's your door, and you can just lift it up when you want to light the candle and then put it back down again. And here is the finished lantern.